Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Gashapon High-Grade Diorama Kiryu. Now, Kiryu comes from the 2002 film Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, which is probably one of my favorite movies in the Millennium era, excuse me. It's not my favorite in the Millennium era, that title goes to GMK, but Godzilla against Mechagodzilla is still a very good movie, and is actually one of the few movies where I actually cared more about the human situation and not so much what the monsters are doing. Which, the monster scenes in this movie are good, but I really like the characters in this movie. I feel like they're very interesting, and yeah, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla is a very good movie. Kiryu also appeared in Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S, which is also a good movie, but not as good as Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, but that's just me. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get into this. So before we take a look at Kiryu himself, we'll take a quick look at his base. So to start off with, again, we have the Godzilla textured skin base we've seen several times. Whoop, I dropped that. And the base itself is the same as Bio Goji's, just a gray stone sort of structure, I guess, with lots of cracks in it. Which looks nice, but again, we've seen this before, so yeah. And we do get a different building piece, and I actually like this one a little more than the one that comes with Bio Goji. It's less destroyed, but I still feel like it looks very nice. The painting, again, not great, but for what it is, it's nice. It's just a couple gray pieces of plastic with a darker shade of gray painted over them, which once again looks good, and yeah, I really like this a lot. The sculpting, the detailing, everything here looks great, and that's pretty much it. Not a lot to say about this building, so yeah, the building itself, it's alright. Now for Kiryu himself. And to start off with, we'll take a look at the painting, as we usually do. And the painting on Kiryu is a little bland. Granted, it's all it really needs to be, just metallic silver with slight bits of, like, different colors here and there, but I feel like more shading would have done this figure well. So, as you can see, most of the figure here is this metallic silver, which looks nice. On his shins, we do get these red arrows pointing downwards, and we can see that his eyes are painted yellow. Not the neatest in terms of paint for the eyes, but they don't look horrible. And that's pretty much it. Again, more shading I feel like would have done this figure very well, but the painting isn't the worst thing in the world, so the painting on this figure, I'd say, gets 3/4 of a pass. More shading would have been nice, but all in all, the painting here is not bad. Now we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure, well, there's none. This is more of just a statue piece, but either way, this figure does come disassembled, so if you want to know how to disassemble this figure, it is very simple. So basically, the tail comes in 2 pieces, as well as the legs, and that's pretty much it. If you do plan on getting this, then it should come in a little plastic baggie like so. And to reassemble it, it is very simple. All you need to do is just, plug in the right legs to one another. So just plug that there. Plug that there. And something I really like, even without the tail, this figure can still stand. So you could sort of have like a Mecha Gabra, I guess. So there's always that. But of course, all you need to do is to just attach the tail like so, plug in the tail, and there you go. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. Again, not a lot. This is more of like a statue, so the articulation, no pass, but like I said in the past 3 videos, no articulation isn't necessarily a bad thing. This is more of a statue. You've heard it before. So the articulation, no pass, but it's not a bad thing. Now we'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure I think is really nice. His little crest thingy here I feel like is a little misshapen, but other than that, the sculpting looks very accurate to how he looked in Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. And something I really like, he doesn't really need his tail to like stand on his own, because he's standing up on his own pretty well, even without like his tail being on the ground. And that's something, like Bio Goji here. If you remove the tail, then the last time I did this, he didn't really stand on his own, but now I seem crazy, so yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like I really like the pose Kiryu's in. He's never been in this pose in the movie. He was like never really this, like, I don't want to say animated, but he was never this like athletic, I guess, or even then that's not really a good word either. I guess animated works. He was never really, like, in this sort of, like, pose. He was just, like, you know, how Godzilla is how he usually is in the movies, I should say, but yeah. But either way, the sculpting on this figure looks very nice and very spot on to how he looked in Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. So the sculpting on this figure gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing, once again, for such a small figure, looks very nice. So going to his head here, we can see all the mechanical detailing, which looks very nice. All the paneling and whatnot, very nicely defined. And this mechanical detailing continues all throughout his body, all of the paneling and all of the wires and whatnot. Very nicely defined, and again, for such a small figure, the detailing here is very nicely defined. So, yeah, and even the tail, a lot of wires and paneling, which again looks great. And even his dorsal plates are detailed pretty nicely. Not great, but they still look very nice. And that is pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. And the detailing on this figure, again, for such a small figure, is very nice. So the detailing on this figure definitely gets a pass. So, at the end of the day, should you get this figure? Honestly, Kiryu is my favorite in the whole set. Kiryu is my first favorite. Bio Goji, I'd say, is my second favorite. And then you have Biolante, who's my third favorite. And then there's Hedorah, who is my least favorite. And Hedorah is not a bad figure by any means, but, you know, like, he's just, out of the four, he's my least favorite, sorry, she's my least favorite, but, again, Hedorah is still a very nice figure, and these figures in general, I feel like, are very nice and of very good quality. This is Series 2, I reviewed Series 1, I think during the summer, which I brought up last time, which consisted of, Godzilla 1954, Shin Godzilla, Godzilla 2019, and Ghidorah 2019. Ghidorah 2019 and Godzilla 2019 I didn't really like so much, but I really like Shin Godzilla and Godzilla 1954 in that line. Here, all the figures are of much better quality, or at least like similar to 1950 or the 1954's quality. So yeah, the quality on these figures are very nice, and if you should get these, I'd say it's definitely worth it. Again, $40, it's a little much, I'd say. I feel like a little less would be a little better, but for the most part, I think that these figures are of great quality for such small figures. I know we're a little early here, but here they all are with Dr. Billy Grant, and you can just see how small they are. And the overall quality, I think, is really nice. If they were going to make a Wave 3, then I feel like I would get it, but, you know, I wouldn't rush to get it. I was kind of hesitant of picking up this set. I thought about it for a little while, then I decided against it, and then I just finally, why not? So, yeah, this set is very nice and is definitely better than the first set. So, if you had to get any set, I'd say get this set and probably skip out on the first set that came out. So, yeah. Again, this set is $40, which is a little much, but not the end of the world, but yeah. Anyway, that was it for my review of the Godzilla high-grade Gashapon Diorama, whatever I called it at the beginning. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I should have brought this up at the beginning of the video. This will be not my last Godzilla video, but my last Godzilla video for a while, because at least as of me recording this, I pretty much reviewed everything that I owned. So, yeah, unless I get something new, then as of right now, I won't upload any Godzilla videos for a while. But if I do get something new, then I will definitely be sure to review it. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.